Good day, mates. Welcome to another live stream. How's everybody doing? You guys like my thumbnail? Got some raw testicles today, raw bacon, raw grass-fed beef, raw butter, raw brains, and raw avocado. I got a lot of fats in this meal. I'm doing little experiments. I'm trying to integrate more fat versus protein. So that's why you see the avocado, the bacon, the butter, and the brain. And I'm also trying to integrate organs, like almost equal organs with protein. So that's why you see the testicle and the brain. So I'm going to be eating probably significantly less muscle meat. I'm going to be eating a lot more just raw fat and organs and stuff like that. But I'm never going to quit muscle meat, but just to keep you guys updated on some of the recent developments and my adjustments to my diets. Coming up on 2 years on Primal. I'll be 2 years on August 1st. Just got back from running, actually sprinting on the track near my house, wearing my new minimalist shoes, basically totally flat shoes. They're pretty sweet. They're by the brand Xero, X-E-R-O. So it feels good to run, man. I don't run that like often. I don't run as much as I should. And now that I learned that bike riding ruins your ding dong, I'm probably never going to ride a bike ever again. So, because, you know, we got enough problems in this world. Why do you want to go around ruining your ding dong on a bike seat? So, I'm going to start sprinting instead of bike riding. Good day, everybody. What's up, Chicken Jar and P. Miller? My trusty, rusty moderators. How much does it run you to keep up the raw diet? I was when I was like pigging out, it was about $20 a day. But I'm a big dude, like I'm 6'3", about 200 pounds roughly. So it costs about $20 a day to eat the most nutrient dense foods in the world every day. But you can get it down to about, I was like gorging myself, right? So you can probably get it down to about 15 a day. But once you start getting into wild caught fish and stuff like that, like wild caught salmon, it starts getting up to like 25, 30 a day, if not more. Because salmon's like $20 a pound, you know? Yeah, this is cured bacon, man. I didn't know this bacon was going to come cured from my farmer, so I'm unfortunately eating salted and preserved bacon right now, but it's really good. I'll probably never buy cured bacon ever again, but I just assumed it came not cured, but I assumed wrong. I started messing around with green olives too. Green olives are mostly fat. Did you guys know that? And it's a fruit. And so is the pimento, and the olive is a fruit as well. What's up, Gentle Cattle? Good to see ya. No, white stuff, if you're fermenting liver and you get white stuff on it, it's not bad. It's probably just a little mold or something. Just stir it up, keep fermenting it. Raw testicle? Eating raw testicle will significantly raise your libido, especially combined with discipline and no fap. You will notice a significant rise in your testosterone, especially if you eat it every day, all day for like 3 days in a row. You'll notice it. You'll notice that your energy goes up quite a bit, and you start to look at women a lot more, and just you feel like better. overall, because testosterone is one of those hormones for men that just makes us feel almost euphoric. Like it's a very, very good feeling to be fulfilled on your testosterone stores. I told the pasture-raised cattle rancher I was looking for brain. He told me I don't want that stuff because of mad cow disease. Yeah, a lot of people are scared of that, man. That's the whole reason they outlawed it in the first place. Isn't that crazy? It's all because of some stupid hoax. It's not even because people think it's gross. Isn't that the funny part? It has nothing to do with it being gross at all. It's because of some stupid, like virus or whatever. Whatever mad cow disease was. Parasite or virus. Allegedly. Why don't you want to eat raw in front of your parents? Who cares, man? You're 19 years old. Do whatever you want, dude. You're an adult, you know? You're not a little kid anymore. Just show your parents the proper diet. If they don't like it, they don't like it. It's not going to be the first time someone's parents thought eating raw meat was weird. Smoked bacon? Yeah, probably alright. I mean, I'm sure if you got into the whole Aajonus science of it, you could find a million things wrong with smoked bacon. But if you find it and you want to try it out, just try it out and see how it works, you know. I personally find that when I eat cured bacon, it doesn't digest as well as raw foods because of the salt and whatever else they put in it, like the sugars. So you'll find out that you probably prefer raw over cured, but I'm not really sure what smoked is. You're just raising the temperature a little bit and putting a little flavor into it. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I went out to dinner with my mom the other day at a steakhouse, and I got a rare 22-ounce ribeye, and then I got cooked, and then I got a side of mashed potatoes, and then I got a side of a whole baked potato. And I ate the whole thing, and it was like one of the best meals I've ever had. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with if you're going out to eat with people or something, eating a little cooked every once in a while, or eating some smoked bacon. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. The idea is getting down to the fundamentals of diet, nutrition, correcting your health, healing your gut. You know, like I healed my gut I was very disciplined for, almost 2 years now. I've been very disciplined on this. I healed my body. Now I can go out and eat a cooked potato every once in a while, or eat like a cooked steak, and it makes no difference to my body at all. You know what I mean? So I prefer raw meat though. I'll always prefer raw meat and raw organs. I can't imagine cooking an organ. Like the idea of cooked organs, it literally sounds disgusting to me, which is weird because there's not that much food that disgusts me, but cooking like a liver, I always thought the smell of cooked liver was the most disgusting thing I've ever smelled. And now I know why. But I couldn't imagine like cooking balls or cooking liver or brains. Ugh, that sounds gross, man. Like, because it's so good raw, I just can't imagine it. Greg, is eating scrambled eggs really bad? I doubt it. I was actually craving scrambled eggs and bacon today. Like sometimes I crave a cooked breakfast. It's weird. I don't know what it is. So every once in a while, I'll probably squeeze in like a cooked meal here and there, because I mean, there's nothing better than going out with your family or friends and like getting like a nice brunch or breakfast or whatever. It's like you shouldn't be like nervous about that, you know? Like eating a cooked diet, you can be extremely healthy eating a cooked diet, right? Look at all the examples of it. There's millions of people out there that run nutrition channels and stuff like that. They're on cooked food. They're in great shape. But you start getting into the weeds a little bit when you get on this raw diet stuff, because you're like getting down to the molecular level of cooked molecules and all this shit, and you can start to get a little like paranoid about it. And the other thing about focusing on health and nutrition too much is that you start to pay attention to yourself a little bit too much. And the whole affliction of self is one of the worst things that you can have in life, of being constantly obsessed with yourself and thinking about yourself. And it's almost like an affliction. And a lot of people have it. The idea is you don't want to be thinking about yourself either. You want to be thinking about other people and, like, you know, helping other people out in life and stuff like that. So don't fall into the trap of, you know, being obsessed with diet and nutrition and making that your only focus in life. Use it to correct your health, and then use that as a jump off point to achieve your goals and dreams, you know. Do I worry about COVID-19? No, not at all. That's a total scam, dude. Complete and total skizam. Not taking your New World Order. 143 IQ. That's a high IQ, buddy. Dude, classical music is the best. What's up, JP? My Mexican friend. Isn't mold supposed to be bad for us? Not necessarily. It's like bacteria. Mold isn't bad for you. Mold is like a fungus. You have like fungus all over your body, but you don't want to like inhale mold. You know what I mean? But you have mold like yeast is a mold. You know what I mean? It's like what makes bread. Like there's mold everywhere. You shouldn't be scared of mold. Now, when you start getting into maybe certain strains of mold, like black mold, and then you're like inhaling it into your lungs, that's a place that mold probably shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Same thing goes for bacteria. There's no real such thing as like a bad bacteria. There's no such thing as like a bad chemical compound either. At least one that's made by nature or God, because God just doesn't create like evil bacteria or evil compounds or evil viruses. It's when you get these things in places they don't belong. It's when you take viruses and inject them into people's bloodstreams. That's when you get problems. It's when you take anaerobic bacteria and you get it into your like dental cavities through a root canal. That's when bacteria becomes a problem. It's when you get black mold, you know, from drywall, wet drywall, and it goes from the drywall into your lungs. That's a place it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? So there's no such thing as necessarily like a bad organism, bacteria, parasite, fungus, but there is such thing as getting those things in the wrong places. And that's when and those are always created by man-made situations. None of those are created by God. Hello, how are you doing today? I'm doing well. Barely just because I still live with them. I eat raw when I'm alone or get a chance to actually stay earlier. You should be moving out, bro. You're 19, man. I moved out when I was, 17? I had just turned 18, I think. When you're 18, you should move out, brother. Go eat raw meat in your one-bedroom apartment. I don't have to worry about people thinking you're weird. Yeah, there you go, man. Go raw when you move out. General Cattle, you're right, man. Talking to your farmer really pays off. I'm going to his butcher appointment next month to get fresh balls and brains. I'm telling you, the stuff is out there. It's a little hidden, but you got to, you know, talking to people word of mouth is huge. Summer Guernsey milk sounds good. That actually sounds really good. Cooked liver is so disgusting. Dude, it's the worst. It's the worst thing I've probably ever smelled in a kitchen. How to get rid of puffy nipples? Never heard that one. Sounds like it might be some some man boob action going on. Quit eating any kind of estrogenic foods like dairy and any kind of meat that gets hormones. Also hair loss. I don't know about hair loss. I'm not 100% sure about that. Once you get on this diet, I mean, that's the only thing you can do is just start pumping your body full of nutrients, and hopefully it corrects your hair, you know? But that could be stress, man. You gotta learn how to chill out and kind of live a stress-free life. I think hair loss is a big part of that stress. How do I get raw testicles in Sweden? I'm not sure. I'm not from Sweden, but you'll have to do some research. call farmers, call all your butchers, ask them where you can get them, ask them if they know somebody. Call everybody within like an hour or two and find out where they're at. Get online too. JP says, once a week I have runny boiled eggs and cooked bacon. You're in a timeout, dude. You're timeout, JP. Did you ever blaspheme like that? What do I think about roids? Pretty unnatural. Pretty unnatural. Although I do hear that if you do take roids on like 1 cycle or 2 cycles, it can actually give you permanent, long-lasting effects. So there might be some actual like medicinal benefit to it, as long as you don't use them all the time. Honestly, I'd never used them, never looked into them. I had the opportunity to use them in high school, but I never did. But yeah, don't inject anything or swallow any pills. That's a good rule of thumb. Any recommendations on finding a good rennet for cheese? I'm not a pro on that yet. I just bought the animal rennet it was like on Amazon or one of the suppliers that supplies on Amazon. I think there's a couple different kinds of rennet. I don't really have any recommendations on that. Maybe I can find out which one I got real quick. Hang on. The one I got is from New England Cheese Making Supply. And hang on. Non-GMO, no caramel coloring. Yeah, I think the key is not getting the caramel coloring in it. I think there's some kind of preservative in there though, if I remember right. Yeah, see, even though this is good stuff, it has veal rennet, sodium chloride, sodium acetate, propylene glycol, sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate. See, it's still got preservatives, but hey guys, I mean, you got to get what you can get, you know. Sometimes you got to eat a little preservative here and there. The thing about roids though is it can shrink your testicles because it stops testosterone production in your body, and so your testicles actually shrink. So that's like a big reason not to do roids, man. My GDK, what's that? What is GDK, sir? Possible to heal cavities? Possibly, if you eat a lot of calcium and nutrient-dense foods. I mean, in theory, I think we don't exactly know how the body works, man. The body could definitely heal cavities. The one thing you can do to try to heal cavities is eating a lot of calcium-rich foods, and then also putting bone marrow up inside your tooth and your gums up there. Raw bone marrow. What's a GD or GDK, sir? Please explain. Barely. It's not easy to get a job here or make enough money to move out. Oh yeah, maybe I thought we already talked. Did we already talk about this? There's a lot of jobs where I'm at here. Come move to the Midwest, man. A lot of jobs here. You can go get a job doing anything. What are my thoughts on NoFap? It's a good idea. It's a natural state. Yeah, the idea of masturbation is one of the most ridiculous concepts if you think about it. If you just think about what you're actually doing compared to what you should be doing, You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It makes you look like a primate. Just think about it for a little bit, you know? And then when you combine that with pornography, which is what most people are doing nowadays, is they're watching visual pornography, that's just frying your brain, dude. Trust me, I watched it for a long time, just like every other man, and it's not good for your brain, dude. It desensitizes you to actual women, too. Yeah, you can. Kai Salas also talks about hair loss. If you get We Want to Live, check that out, yeah. If you don't have We Want to Live, you can email me. Damn, marijuana gave you puffy nipples? Shit. I always did have kind of big nips too. Interesting, man. But I always had like a big chest, so I always thought it was just my chest. Dude, I think I've heard someone else say that before. That's pretty interesting, man. I'm gonna have to watch my boobs now. JP says, ban me. Don't tempt me. That sounds like a little masochistic there, buddy. Or a little, yeah. Sounds a little masochistic. This dude wants to be banned badly. Barely says, I only want to do one cycle to test. Hey, that's up to you, man. That's your body. You do what you want. I can only recommend to you. I can only tell you what I know. The good thing I heard about steroids is that one cycle can give you permanent gains for the rest of your life. The bad thing I heard about steroids is it shrinks your testicles. So weigh which one means the most to you and go from there. But I would never do more than one cycle if you were going to just test it out. But it involves needles, and needles are just, that's usually no good. What's my opinion on goat milk versus cow milk after switching to goat? Goat milk was very energizing. It was good stuff, dude. I definitely prefer goat milk. I got to go back to goat milk, or I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to cow's milk here probably fairly soon, and I'm going to complete the experiment because I got to go from cows to goats to cows to kind of see how it all goes. And I'll let you guys know, but I do prefer goat milk at this point for sure. And it was very energizing compared to cows. There was no energy dips, no hard to digest or anything like that. Great Gladys, marijuana is highly estrogenic and it messes up your endocannabinoid system, which is dependent on omega-3 fatty acids. That's pretty fascinating. Also makes me paranoid because I smoked marijuana for a long time. I always worried about that shit. Like, I started, towards the end of my cannabis career, I was like getting stoned and watching these videos on how marijuana like jacks up your testosterone and all this shit. And I just started realizing like how true it was, you know what I mean? Like I was like, man, this is how I feel. So that doesn't surprise me. It's estrogenic and messes up your endocannabinoid system and stuff like that. But I also think it can be very beneficial for a lot of people if you have, especially like epilepsy, which is basically what I had going on because I had these like seizures that would happen every once in a while, like drop seizures. And so I think that's what drew me to cannabis, is that it was regulating the electric activity in my brain. That's at least what it felt like it was doing. And I could just function a lot better. I could socialize a lot better when I was under the influence of cannabis versus not on cannabis. So I think I had some sort of electrical disturbances going on in my brain that were causing the seizures. And that was also causing me to be drawn towards something like cannabis that would regulate that system in a way. And so like suppress my electrical system. But once I fixed my diet, I found that I didn't need it anymore. I'm kind of able to socialize and think in a more normalized manner without using any kind of substances. Is psoriasis from Wi-Fi? I don't know. I don't know about that. It can cause radiation, that's for sure. But if it causes, you're asking if it directly causes psoriasis. I have not heard that. Speaking of Roy's, I see Tooth Boy's book dropped on Amazon, right? Talking about his his ancestral diet book or whatever. His book where he just copied everybody else's research that's been out for over 100 years and just wrote his own book. Pretty awesome book, dude. What does it say? Eat raw foods and raw liver and eat meats and butter and eggs and wow. Groundbreaking research, Stefano. Victor was thinking that if your body gets used to eating testes, would it stop producing testosterone like in steroid? That's a very good question. I think it might be different though because you're not injecting it like directly into your bloodstream. It's very possible though. Temporarily, it could shut it down for sure. But I think what it's also doing is it's healing your testicles because we all have organ damage no matter what organ it is, and that's the good thing about eating testicles is that it can heal your testes, you know. I actually noticed after eating them for like a week that my testicles were like larger. So yeah, minoxidil sounds a little crazy. Hey Wes, I heard Chief Keef is looking for you. He wants to collab. Chief Keef, huh? From Chicago? That's pretty funny, dude. What's up, Leonardo Gomez Jr.? $20. Dang, man, that's a nice little super chat there. Thank you very much. Very generous, sir. Keep up the raw testicle live streams. You bet, man. I'm telling you guys, this is a good way to boost your manhood in a very natural way. This is a ancient Chinese secret that I've stumbled upon. Eggshells is calcium, yeah. Do you think it's fine to go once a month or not at all? Strict no fat? It depends. It just depends. There's so many different variables. It depends on what your morals are and stuff like that. Some people, I'm not going to preach, but I'm just going to say some people don't believe you should have sex outside of marriage or committed relationships. Some people don't care, right? If you're on NoFap, then, you know, it's probably, it just depends on kind of what you're doing. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's healthy for a man to hold that in for super lengthy periods of times, like months and months and months. But here's something that I learned, actually. I will enlighten you guys in something that I learned from the book Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, which is a very fascinating book. Very, very good, man. But he started getting into this moral stuff on like sex before marriage and stuff like that. And he broke it down into two different things, basically. It's that either, he basically said that we are being, he's basically saying that our instincts, you either believe that our instincts to desire sexuality constantly are on point or they're off point, basically. And he believes that our instincts about sexuality are actually off right now. So there's a lot of people that will say that you should just follow your instincts, follow your sexual desires, it's natural, do whatever you want, don't repress it, because repressing is what's actually bad for you. But C.S. Lewis actually argues, and I thought this was a very fascinating angle, that our instincts, our current sexual instincts, are actually off right now because of what's being pumped into our brains through society. And a lot of people, so what's being pumped into our brains right now through society is pornography on the internet, through movies, through magazines, and everything like that. Everything's all about sex, sex, sex. And it's in a direct response to what some people say was sexual oppression. We came from a period of sexual oppression where they suppressed it all. And now everything that we're seeing nowadays is a result of people backlashing from the sexual oppression that happened for so many years. And people argued that the sexual oppression was what was bad for you, and so you should just let it all hang out and everybody should just do whatever they want to do. But C.S. Lewis brings up in this book, man, that like arguably the reason that the whole sexual oppression came in the first place is because of what's going on today happened back then as well. Is that there was just basically all of this like pornography and sexual imagery and stuff being pumped into people's brains. And now you got it on these things like cell phones, which little kids have in their hands, and they can sit there and just download tranny porn at any moment in their life, 5 years old, and watch pornography on their hand. That's very, very new to human evolution. And so the theory is that the reason that everybody's so overly sexual is because of what society is pumping into your brain about sex. And also the other angle of that is all the chemicals and hormones and stuff in our food are screwing up your hormones and stuff like that. So you got to think about that when it comes to controlling your sexual desires and what's a normal sexuality and what's not a normal sexuality. So you got to consider all those angles, and you got to consider the fact that we are basically corrupted. We're super corrupted, man. Like, do you think indigenous tribes had pornography and stuff? That's ridiculous. We're like trading around pictures of like women's boobs and stuff like that. Whereas, you ever thought about how ridiculous that is? Like, hey man, check this out, dude. Come here, man, I got something. It's boobs. And indigenous people walk around with their boobs hanging out all day long, right? They would think a couple grown men marveling over a photograph of women's boobs would be absolutely preposterous. So you gotta just think about the indigenous tribes, how they regarded sexuality, and then where we are at today. It's pretty degraded, man, and I'm not trying to come from some kind of fundamentalist Christian Bible beating perspective. It's just the truth, man. So you got to think about that stuff when it comes to no fap and being sexually promiscuous and stuff like that, and kind of seek the truth from there. But I think you'll see what the truth is, What do you do? What's your job? I was doing construction for a while, and then I quit because I decided I didn't want to work in an office. So I'm on a little summer vacation. I'm going to go back to work here probably in a month or so. Apparently goat milk is very similar to human milk. Interesting. Huh. What are your thoughts on drinking women's squirt? Never heard that one. That's a good one. I mean, as long as she's not toxic, as long as she's a healthy person, bodily fluids should be fairly healthy. No, I haven't heard of that. They have pretty good raw cheese and some ball sacks stored in the back. Gotta be trolling, dude. What's up, T. Moeller? Good to see ya. Dang, your dad had grand mal seizures his whole life? That's crazy. You should try smoking weed, dude. Smoking some CBD. CBD strains. Damn, he crashed the car too. That's good. Dude, seizures are no good, dude. I completely shattered my face into pieces on a seizure one time. Shattered my jaw into pieces and I chipped 12 of my teeth in half. It was no good. Probably got a concussion too. Probably got some brain damage. Is $12 a pound for brain a lot of money? Depends on how easily you can get it. $12 a pound. No, that's not a lot at all, actually. Go for it. Great, Gladys, that's right, because if you haven't got enough omega-3, it can lead to seizure. I found that after bombarding myself with raw, fresh mackerel and lamb brain to stop craving MJ. Interesting, man. Same here, definitely. It became just a compulsion at some point, but yeah, and when I had my seizures, I was eating no omega-3s, dude, at all. I was eating like McDonald's and just bullshit. Yeah, barely. Email me barely. My email is right here. Shoot me an email and I'll send you the book. If anybody needs We Want to Live, shoot me an email. Email says, I read your review on Amazon of his stolen material. You said it looked like it was written by a 5th grader. Yeah. Yeah. That guy's a fraud, dude. The ancestral diet. The ancestral diet coming from a 25-year-old New York punk that's never traveled outside of his mom's house. He's going to teach you all about the ancestral diet. Never mind reading Weston Price or Wilhelmer Stephenson and Aajonus. Grab Tufano's book, dude. That's going to be way better than those books. It's ridiculous. That's good, Nomir. Gentlemen, welcome to Primal Food Club. The first rule of Primal Food Club is you do not talk about Primal Food Club. The second rule of Primal Food Club is you do not talk about Primal Food Club. That's actually the truth. You guys are going to see, too. Primal Food Club is going to be a secret. It's pretty funny. What do you recommend eating on 5 hours or long bike rides? Well, if you're into ruining your ding-dong riding a bike, then I would suggest going with like some fruit, eating a lot of fruit beforehand with some cheese or something like that. But I don't recommend long bike rides unless you have like a special seat. Don't get those, get like a special seat that's round, not the one that has the front end, because that'll ruin it ruins your dong. You gotta look it up. Gag reflex from eating raw meat, is that normal? Yeah, definitely normal. I still gag on some foods. You'll get used to it after a while though. I haven't heard of that market. I'll check it out though. Hang on. Nah, I haven't heard of it. You have to give me like a website or something. Toenail. Anyone else dislike Jordan Peterson? Oh yeah, dude, he's the worst. He seems like he regurgitated shit he read from someone else with a Kermit voice and a fabricated big dick energy chip on his shoulder. Dude, he's the biggest charlatan fraud of our entire generation. He's an intellectual charlatan. There's more intellectual ideas coming out of my mouth sitting here eating raw brains than there is that's ever come out of that guy's mouth. Because I speak in plain speak. I speak directly. That guy doesn't speak directly. He's a fraud, dude. He's a fraud. He's not that smart. He's just well read, you know? And his mind, he's mentally ill, dude. You're looking at a mentally ill guy. And plus you're looking at a guy that was addicted to drugs. He went to rehab for Klonopins and stuff. So yeah, he's no leader. No leader of men. The best thing they can come up with is go clean your room, bucko. You gotta read Jordanetics. You gotta come better than that, Toenail. You think I'm gonna fall for that shit? Come on, man. You gotta come better than that, buddy. Vegan Gains deadass twerk for a super chat. Wouldn't doubt it, dude. Something wrong with that guy. Brandon Johnson, what's up, man? Do you still drink while eating? I do not. I found I digest my food better if I don't drink at all. So, constantly evolving my diet. You know, and if I would have listened to everybody's suggestions from the beginning instead of just eating whatever I wanted to eat, I would have been here a long time ago. Eating mostly fat, not drinking with my meals, stuff like that. You know, eating some avocado every once in a while, not being afraid to eat a little bit of, you know, fruit. Avocado's a good fruit, man. Nice and fatty. And I'm feeling a lot better eating these olives, too. I eat olives. And yeah, on the fasting thing, I'm not going to fast, like, constantly. I'm actually feeling pretty good eating this, like, high-fat diet. So, I'm going to give that a shot. I thought Jordan was on Klonopin. We're both benzos, I guess. How much fat you been eating? I've been eating a lot of fat. I feel much better eating fat. I mean, I knew this a while ago, but somehow I got away from eating fat and I got more into eating protein again. I don't know how this happened. But I need to start eating a lot more like avocados and butter. And I'm going to get some raw fat from my farmer. Thanks for the support, Brandon Johnson. Appreciate it, man. Good looking out, buddy. I've been eating a fairly high-fat diet, but not really. Looking back on it, you know, my meals were like a pound to a pound and a half of muscle meat. No organs. a little bit of butter, a couple eggs, and that was my meal. You know, maybe some milk, but it's not really fatty, man. Like, a fatty meal is what I just ate. You're talking an entire avocado, a big old chunk of raw butter, 3-4 slabs of raw bacon, some fatty muscle meat, and a little bit of organs. Avocado is a really good supplement, man. I react really good to avocado. Extremely good to it. Like, I digest it perfect, and it's just a good source of energy, man. I used to eat a lot of this stuff before I got on Raw Primal. I was eating a fairly decent diet for a while before I got on Raw Primal. That's why I don't look like a total degenerated retard, you know, mutant when you see like my before pictures and after pictures on Instagram. Because I eat red meat every single day. I eat eggs every single day. You know what I mean? I've always eaten meat and eggs. But it was all the other shit I was eating too on top of it that was really messing me up. And vegetables and stuff like that, and then, you know, supplements. Hello, Mrs. Trunchbull. You don't like raw butter? I've heard that from somebody else before. I don't understand it, but to each his own, man. Candida? I've had a lot of different skin disorders and stuff. Damn, I smashed that. Let me go get some eggs. I'll be right back. I'm feeling good after that run. I need to run more often, for sure. My brain is operating. Get a fade, you look more alpha. Is that right? Is that a fact? I used to get fades all the time. If you look at my older streams and fade it up. I get like a number 5 or 6 on the sides. I'm not really a big fan of the short sides anymore. I like a little longer on the sides. What's your opinion on grains? I don't think they're good for you. Unless you can like properly make them the way that we are supposed to by like soaking the grains and you know, using heirloom seeds and stuff like that. If you can make grains that way, then you can probably get away with like eating some rye bread or sourdough or something like that, and it's not too bad for you. But For the most part, modern day grains are sprayed with glyphosate, and they don't soak them and air them out and stuff like that, and it's not good for you overall. We're not meant to eat a grain heavy diet, and that's what most people are eating, and we're supposed to eat mostly like meat and eggs and stuff like that. Yeah, the thing is the coronavirus isn't really getting out of control. It's the way people are reacting to it. That's what's getting out of control. I can't believe people are still wearing masks. It's so stupid. I've never for a second ever once even considered that this is like a big deal. And I know there's a lot of people like me too. What's my favorite Chief Keef song? Sosa, of course. It's the best one, man. Yeah, hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Butter disagrees with you, huh? That's interesting. I know some people that don't like the flavor of it. $600,000 children are killed every year to abortion. 100,000 died of virus and shut down the whole country, right? And it's not even 100,000. It's just what they say it is, right? Yeah, people just abort babies and all day long, but people are worried about a virus. It's the same thing with, yeah, I'm not going to get into the politics shit. I could get into politics and stuff all day long. What's up, Meteor Man? Yeah, the reaction, yeah. I'm pretty sure I know that's what you meant, Andrew, but I agree with you. It's so stupid. And it's like people like my age and stuff, and like people that are like in the prime of their life, you know? Like walking around with these diapers on their face, like, oh, I can't get a mask. Or I can't get a virus, I gotta wear my mask. Like, it's not in our instincts. Abrahamson's not a fan of the flavor of raw butter. That's interesting. Have you guys tried cultured? Or are you just eating regular butter? Too stinky? Interesting. Viruses being transmittable makes zero sense. It does. Why would a creator who created this like perfect world, this perfect system where everything works together, bugs and animals, and why would he throw viruses in there? Like, I'm gonna make this beautiful earth with the sun and rainforests and birds flying around and like little baby animals and just all this beautiful stuff. And then, you know, on the 8th day, he created viruses, and just sprinkled viruses all over his beautiful creation. Yeah, I'm sure that actually happened. It's so dumb. It's a lie. It's a lie made up by the godless media. You're making Kodak Black type beats? Kodak Black is pretty funny. Ms. Trunchbull, how can you be certain that the meat from a farm and grass-fed and hormone-free? You gotta contact the farmer. You gotta go directly to the farmer, guys. Like, I literally drove to, you know, I called the farmer and I said, hey, can I stop by? And I drove to his farm an hour away, you know? A couple farms an hour away, and I talked to him. And I went and I pet the cows and talk to him about his grass, and just farmers love to talk to people like us, man. You got to get out there and start talking to people, but it's gonna be hard to find 100% grass-fed and hormone-free, and especially vaccination-free But you can find some that only give their cattle like the one mandatory vaccine, which I have found a couple suppliers that do that. So you got to just get out there, contact the Weston Price Foundation, and they will link you up with local farmers that do that stuff. There's usually a local Weston Price chapter person that works in your area that will point you in the right direction. Excuse me. Go on the Weston Price website. What's up, Jason Smith? Has been a while. I'm sure you've kept calm. Oh yeah. This stuff can't shake me, man. Can't shake me. They can try though. I've gotten a couple looks from people when I wasn't wearing my mask in public, but I just stared them down. They don't want none of me, dude. I got way too much to say. I got way too much to say on this subject. I could sit there and make these people look retarded. You know what I mean? I'm sitting over here reading books about diseases and shit, and these guys are just watching like CNN. I'm like, you guys don't even know what you're talking about. You haven't even looked into the history of viruses. You haven't even looked into the history of vaccines. Like, what do you guys know? You just watch CNN for a couple hours and then strap a diaper on your face and scowl at everybody else that doesn't do what you do, you know? Because you're not a free thinker. Be a free thinker, guys. Lost 18 pounds fasting. Now I can't seem to get satiated eating less than 2,500 calories. Even then I feel tired. Keep eating more. Yeah. I mean, you gotta eat until satiation. Your body's trying to tell you something, you know? Don't fight your body to a certain point. You don't want to follow all of your, like, cravings and stuff like that, but you just gotta at least be satiated, you know? Rose says there is a mandatory vaccine in the U.S. for cows. What is it? I can maybe check through my emails, but I don't remember. I don't think he told me what it was. Here it is. Oh, here we go. I said, hi Ben, just curious, do you all vaccinate or use hormones or antibiotics on your cattle? Thanks. He says, we vaccinate all females at 6 months old for brucellosis, which is required by state law. Otherwise, we use no other hormones, antibiotics, or vaccinations. So, brucellosis, which is, at least in Nebraska, they have to do it. Brucellosis is a bacterial infection that affects thousands of people worldwide. Avoiding unpasteurized, some stupid shit. Mediterranean fever. So dumb, dude. So dumb. Very rare. Fewer than 20,000 cases per year, dude. And they have to vaccinate the cows for it. How stupid is that? Have you been refused service at stores for not wearing a mask? Yeah, I've had to wear a mask to get my hair cut. That's it, though. It's the only time I go wear a mask because I don't have anybody to cut my hair. So, I'm not about to grow out a Germanic fro. Even though it's getting to that point a little bit. Yeah, masks have mold on them. It also suppresses your oxygen, so you're inhaling carbon dioxide. Andrew says, I notice most people hate the government and hate Big Pharma, but follow all the coronavirus stuff and all around meds. Yeah, it's because you become what you hate. That's the secret of life right there. It's some Chinese wisdom for you. That's why you should never hate. Don't hate the government. Don't hate Big Pharma. Just discern them as evil and be aware that they are evil and what they're doing, but don't hate them. And that way you don't become them and you don't start following all their guidelines and stuff, you know? But yeah, that's part of it. The other part of it is people are just hypocrites and they're brainwashed, non-free thinkers. Do you eat duck eggs? What's up, White Bear? Do they age like a chicken egg? I've only eaten them a couple times. I don't know a whole lot about duck eggs. Are they as healthy? I think they're definitely as healthy, if not a little healthier, because I know they're more expensive. I don't exactly know the nutrient profile, to be honest with you. Any other eggs that you've tried that you recommend? No, I haven't tried any other eggs besides fish eggs. Fish eggs are pretty good. And I've heard quail eggs are good too. And ostrich eggs. Uncultured swine. Kai Solis, I'd like to share an eating regimen that God has recommended for strength training. Go for it. Who'd buy a high meat soda? Sounds good. The masks are fashion symbols. Yeah, they're like tortured masks. Did you ever have sour cream? No, I haven't. Any books to recommend on animal husbandry? Are you talking about animal husbandry? Are you talking about like raising animals? Sorry, I've heard that word before, but I'm not 100% familiar what it means. Husbandry? That's like raising animals? I'm not 100% on that. I don't know if you've ever heard of Joel Salatin. I know he's like really knowledgeable on farming and stuff like that. He might be someone to look into if you haven't looked into him quite yet. Do I have any Greek blood? I don't know, man. I did a genetic test and it didn't come up with anything Greek. But they keep zeroing in more and more on some of my data points, and they keep telling, like, there was actually a weird one that they came up with the other day that I hadn't heard of yet. I don't think I have any Greek though, man. I think I'm mostly Germanic and Scandinavian. Let's see that German fro. You're pretty much seeing it right now. This is my German fro beard too. Your thoughts on eating homemade fermented cabbage or pickles? I've done that a couple times. The fermented pickles were a little too salty for me, but I think I did too much salt. But yeah, it's healthy, man. I did some fermented cabbage too, and it was really good. I don't really crave it that much anymore, but I tried it out at least, and it was very tasty. Excuse me. Use raw eggs to wash your hair. Whip up a raw egg in a bowl and wash your hair with it. That's the way to do it. It's like better than any shampoo or conditioner than I've ever discovered. It's got a lot of nutrients in it and stuff, and it works pretty good. Thanks for doing these live streams and everything you do. No problem, man. It's fun. Duck eggs have some thick and satisfying yolks. They do. I've yet to see Aajonus fairs where you even talk about tonsil health. Like 2/3 of everyone gets them out because they get in trouble. Why is that? You know, Weston Price said something about that in his book, and I can't quite remember now off the top of my head, but it was really fascinating. That's a good question, dude. I can't remember what he said about it either, but it's a sign of like degeneration, I think. I don't know, dude. You're right. Tonsils that's a good topic. That's actually a really good topic to look into. If you have the Weston Price PDF, I would search that for tonsils, or maybe read the book about it too, because I know he talks about tonsils in that book somewhere. But yeah, getting your tonsils removed is ridiculous, dude. What did he say about that? Damn it. What did he say about tonsils? I think it has something to do with degeneration, for sure. It's a good topic though, dude. That would be a good video. Yeah, I think I'm gonna look that up now, dude. You got me curious. Good call, man. Because that is an interesting one, man. That's like a major thing that a lot of people get removed out of their body. It's also like the appendix. I have not tried hide eggs. I have not. Can't eat muscle or organ meat raw. Does it get better? Yeah. You eventually start to get used to it. You just got to get your taste buds and stuff adapted. Because everybody's used to eating like junk food and salt and sugary stuff and just appealing to your senses. And you're not really used to appealing to like satiation. And also switching over from cooked to raw is a big adaptation too, you know? So, but I gagged on steaks and I gagged on liver and stuff like that for the first months of doing this diet, but I'm finally used to it now. What about feeding a baby dog raw meat? For sure. That's what they need, man. It's the best thing you could feed a dog. That you said it was your lucky mask. That's funny. I do not drink coffee, man. I quit coffee. I drink a little black tea, though. Sun tea. I love sun tea, man. Coffee, I think, is a little harsh on the adrenals. And it's like drinking like bean soup, if you think about it. It's like beans, like seeds. I think there's a lot of anti-nutrients in there, and it also competes with your magnesium absorption. And it's pretty acidic. I found that it just kind of messed up my stomach, like my stomach acids and things like that, so I just kind of didn't mess with it anymore. Especially first thing in the morning, that's like the worst thing you can drink is coffee. Unless you're doing something like organic coffee and you're drinking like half of it with like goat milk or something like that, you know what I mean? Like mostly cream milk. That would probably be okay. But I wasn't really doing that. I was just drinking like black coffee. Truth Seeker, my aunt has free-range Canada geese and she feeds them well. They constantly lay eggs. That's crazy. That sounds good. Raw meat in RuneScape. I quit video games. Video games are for slaves, man. Did you use seasoning? I did for like a couple days. Yeah, I seasoned a little bit. If you want to season, go ahead. Just whatever gets you into it, man. Eventually you'll start not liking the seasonings and stuff like that. Turtle eggs sound good. I would bet that Nebraska doesn't have many of the commie riots. Not really, We had a big Black Lives Matter protest, and I drove by and rolled my window down and gave him a big boo and gave him a big thumbs down. I gave him the loudest boo you could ever hear. I was like, get out of here, you brainwashed idiots. It's the dumbest thing ever, dude. Nobody's trying to kill black people. It's the dumbest, the biggest lie ever. Tonsils are your brain's filter? Really? Where's a better place to move overall, Pennsylvania or Nebraska? I'm going to say for the sake of just better soil, Nebraska. Because we're mostly, we're a lot, I think, less dense. We're like a, excuse me, detoxing. I argue that Nebraska has some of the best soil in the world to make grass-fed beef, because I've just never seen pictures of better grass-fed beef than what I have gotten directly from my farmers. I'm really surprised. I just randomly found these farmers and I started buying this stuff, and I look at this meat and I'm like, holy shit, like this stuff is so nutrient dense. It's purple and the fat is so yellow it looks like grass-fed butter. I've never seen anything like it. You know, I'm on Instagram and I'm looking on YouTube, and like nobody has pictures of beef that looks like this. So I think it's our soil. I think that's what it is, because we're when you read Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Weston Price, he goes into this whole thing about, this is one of the major points of the book, of soil quality. Excuse me. And he noted that the eastern parts of the United States were the first parts of the United States to get settled. And so therefore they were the first parts of the country to get farmed. And so they've been farmed more than other parts of the country. And as you move further west, it becomes less. And he also noted that the majority of like the scientists, the great scientists that came out of America, all came from the Midwest. Isn't that crazy? So I think there's something about the soil and the food that's feeding people's minds here in the Midwest. What do I think of the state of the Trump campaign and his chances of winning? I think he's going to win for sure, but the Democrats are going to try to make this Corona thing into a... they're going to try to push it in November so everything's mail-in ballots, and then they can scam the whole election that way. He's going to win, though. I used to get insane fevers, and they told many that to have them removed since they were always inflamed. That's crazy. What's the deal with all these people pushing ancestral supplements? They're trying to make money, dude. Everything in this world is about people trying to get your money, you know? There's hardly any people out there, I mean, I'm not like tooting my own horn here, I'm just stating a fact, that are just going to tell you, just eat raw meat and organs and eggs and milk. Go to your farmer, get your food from your farmer. That's how you get healthy. That's how you get smart. That's how you fix your whole life. You know, not your whole life. I mean, you got, obviously, there's other things you got to do, but that's how you fix your body. You know, you don't fix your body with pills. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's just a cheap imitation. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's better than eating McDonald's, but it's not as good as eating a raw liver. Are you kidding me? You know? Email says you got rid of that leaky used coffee maker. How did you know I had a leaky used coffee maker? How did you know about that? Who are you? Yeah, it was definitely leaking a lot. Is that is email? Is that Jake? Who are you, email? Any farms you can recommend from around you? Yeah, DS Family Farm and Davy Road Ranch and Bryant Dairy. Gott's recommended strength diet: muscle meat, testicles, egg yolks, liver, brain, oily fish fat, all raw. Yeah, it sounds like what I'm eating, pretty close. Pre-workout, you can drink milk or energy smoothie. Whole body sunning while nude. I walk around with my shirt off quite a bit, for sure. Did you burp after eating raw meat? No, I didn't at all. Ashwagandha is the biggest scam. I know, I took that shit. Ashwagandha. Take your magical ashwagandha. The Ancestral Diet by Frank Tufano. The cooked, salted carnivore supplement addict. Exactly. The 25-year-old New Yorker that's never left his mom's house is going to tell you all about the world and ancestral foods. Do you think there's a small chance Trump could be part of the cabal? No, not at all. Not at least when he first got into this stuff. Now, there's a chance that politics has corrupted him along the way. That is a very, very strong chance. But as far as him getting into this thing, no, he wasn't corrupted at all. He's a good dude. I mean, the guy, you know, he doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs. He's got a family, loves his wife, loves his kids. I mean, there's not a whole lot you could ask from someone like that. You know what I mean? Thoughts on Black Lives Matter? Really? Don't get me started, man. Black Lives Matter is a scam, basically. It's just a way. Well, first off, it's a radical black organization founded by black lesbians, and it's just a way to divide the races. It's not a way to unite. And their fundamental belief is to dissolve the nuclear family, and it's right there on their website. And it's what it is. It's an organization. Just it's all connected with the Democratic platform, and all the proceeds like go to Joe Biden and stuff like that. So it's all just a political thing. But it's just a way to divide, man. It's like no different than the KKK. It's a scam. Racism is a made-up lie. There's no such thing as racism. I mean, there's only good or bad. There's only good or evil. There's no such thing as actual racism. That's just a made-up scam by the media, and it's a made-up scam by all the race hustlers like Louis Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. They're just scamming black people, dude, just like the Democratic Party is. They're scamming them and they're using them. And they're keeping them on the Democratic plantation so they can get their votes. All the Democrats want is the votes of the black people. So it's all about power. It's all about land and money. Once you see through all of it, man, you see it's all a scam. Later, snap, crackle. I think Trump is rushing the vaccine to have more people not take it because it is rushed. He was anti-vax years ago. I think he's pushed into a rock and a hard place for sure. I feel for the guy. Do I drink distilled water? No, I don't. I drink mineral water. Frank Tufano, the transgender movement cyborg. Ibrahim, how do you think women would develop on the raw primal diet? Oh man, that'd be beautiful. I mean, you can look at examples on Instagram if you follow Art. What's his name? Art period Terry, I think, like that. Tari. And he's got some examples of women that, you know, transitioned to raw primal, and they developed very well. It reverses infertility too. Yeah, Trump is blue collar for sure, man. All he did was work with like construction workers and stuff. Like 4.5-month-old age cooked duck eggs today and hit the toilet minutes later. Would that be a detox effect? Yeah, most likely. I mean, yeah, honestly, anything that comes out the other end like that is a detox. Now, whether you consider that a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but yeah, most likely a detox. I mean, you digest those things in like 27 minutes anyways, so it could have just cleaned you out real quick for sure. Do a workout video? Yeah, I might do that. Can you link that Instagram page? Sure, man. This guy's got a great Instagram. He's actually featured me a couple times on there too. Here it is. Art's Terry. I should have done this a long time ago, man. I'm not really prepared for these streams. I should get a little more prepared, but I kind of, if you guys can't tell, I just kind of wing these things. Here's his Instagram, guys. Everybody check out this guy's Instagram. It's pretty awesome. And then let's go through it real quick here. This is really interesting stuff. Facial development through the ages. This is a lady that, this is her great-grandmother. Very wide face. This is her mother, a little narrower. And this is her, degenerated. And then this is her 2 children, twins, narrow jaw. She was vegan for that pregnancy. As you can see, their jaws are degened. And then she ate a nutrient-dense paleo diet with some raw foods. And this is her youngest daughter. As you can see, not as degenerated. And then this is the super Chad right here. This is her oldest son. And she fed this kid raw primal the whole way, man. And just look how ridiculously jacked that dude is. So this is what you could look like if you were on raw primal your entire life. That's pretty unreal, dude. I've seen pictures of him for the last couple of years. This lady's actually contacted me before. I don't know what her name is on YouTube, but she's contacted me before and talked to me about this stuff. And then here's some more. The Epitome of Nourishment. He does these Epitome of Nourishment series. Before and afters. She looks the same. He looks the same. He looks way different. So yeah, check out this guy's Instagram, man. He puts a lot of work into this. He deserves a lot more followers. Did you see the protests against normalizing pedophilia? I did not. Trump's youngest kid is taller than Trump? No way, Trump's like 6'3". He's taller than him? That's crazy. Yeah, that dude's a super Chad. Yeah, I know. Just watched Anthony Bourdain eat a seal eyeball. He was told it's a sign of disrespect to refuse a gift of raw meat. For sure. That would be a total sign of disrespect. You know what I mean? That would be like refusing a hug from somebody. That would be just not good. Joseph says, I'm glad I was 14 when I started eating raw eggs. Good for you, man. I never ate raw meat, but I always ate a lot of meat, and we have some really good like grass-fed meat around here, so I grew up on grass-fed meat and some good local dairy and stuff like that. It was pasteurized, unfortunately, but at least I was getting good quality soil growing my food. Am I into jazz? I don't mind jazz at all. I'm just now getting into actual like wholesome music, like classical and country and jazz and stuff, and so. But yeah, I liked. I was getting into like John Coltrane quite a bit. I like that guy. I played actually tenor saxophone for a few years. What's up, Patchy? I think after like 8 years on a raw primal, you'd be close to having a very muscular, lean body as a man. Look at Aajonus. I'm thinking so, yeah. I'm curious how my body's going to transform on this. Aajonus had terrible history with health, and dude's neck and shoulders got huge even after 25. Yeah, they did. I keep forgetting when we see Aajonus in those like workshops and stuff, he'd been on raw meat for like 20 years. I keep forgetting that. That's a long time. Thoughts on frozen meat and organs? It's okay if that's all you can get, you know? It's okay. I eat it all the time. Just, you know, try to get fresh as much as you can. Unfortunately, when you buy stuff directly from the farmer, in my case, you have to buy like a quarter cow. And so you can only get so much of that fresh, you know what I mean? Like you can't put the whole thing fresh in your fridge. So you got to freeze like at least half of it. So you're talking, but I eat all the organs fresh. I never freeze the organs. Well, I freeze some of the liver, but I'm going to start not trying to do that and just eating it all fresh. Well, at least the organs. But I got to freeze like 50 pounds of it. In terms of chicken eggs, like more than 2 months. Some of the eggs are super watery and some are really thick. What is up with that? That's a good question. I've never actually aged chicken eggs. I don't know the answer to that, but I think thick is probably more like what you want. When I taste raw, watery eggs, it doesn't taste like it should, if you know what I'm trying to say. But when the thicker seems better. Rock Primal Jazz Band. I was in a jazz band, dude, when I was in school. Hell yeah, man. I was in a jazz band and a little symphony. Band is fun, man. You played trumpet? Sweet. Reminder, if you guys want to get on the Primal Food Club list, if you're not on it, we got 30 people already, guys. 30 people all around the country. We're creating a little network. If you want to get in on it, email me on the Primal Pet Food Club, Key Pet Food. Or if you want to get on my stream notification list, if you want me to email you an hour or two before every stream, so you get a direct notification, so we can skip all the YouTube notifications and everybody can we can just talk to each other direct, email me. Or if you want a private Skype consultation, email me and we can get that set up too. I've already done 2 actually so far, and they've gone very well, man. I did 2 half-hour consultations with people, and it was fun, man. I learned a lot about him, and I think I gave both of them some really good points and tips and stuff like that, and some things they were looking for. So yeah, if you guys ever want like a one-on-one with me, just shoot me an email. Greg Gladys says I play bass. I mean, I try. Everybody should play an instrument, man. Like, it's a way to expand your horizons. And it also kind of hyper connects your brain, you know? It links together parts of your brain. Because music is a left and a right brained activity. Because like one side of your brain is about like breaking things into pieces and organizing them logically, and then the other side of your brain is about looking at the whole picture and organizing it as one piece. And that's kind of what like composing music is about, you know? You got to look at the whole piece of the music in order to understand it, how to play it. But you also got to look at the individual notes and know how to, you know, play them. Raw ice cream is the ultimate cheat code. Yeah, if you need to put on weight, for sure, eat some raw ice cream. Have you tried getting trichinosis from pig small intestines yet? I have not. I have not. Not against it though, because I know that that's like the thing to do. It's the cool thing to do in Aajonus' fan club. What should someone do if they can't stand eggs? Mix it up into like a nut formula, or better yet, like a raw ice cream or a smoothie. Trichinosis is fake news. Could be. Could be. What's up, fat of the land? The world has changed a lot. It's crazy. We're all primal for 1 year, and I've not been able to eat. I'm hungry, but I cannot eat and do not crave anything. Nothing tastes good. Then don't eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. Unless you're severely underweight. Maybe your body's trying to tell you to fast. That's what's happened to me periodically. I ate so much raw foods that I just stuffed myself and I just was not hungry anymore. And so I started fasting. Maybe you need to start doing some fasting. Fast for like 3 days, see how you feel. You'll get hungry. If you're not hungry now, you'll be hungry after 3 days after not eating. So either way, you'll figure out what to do if you either fast or you'll fast and figure it out, you know. Opinion on marijuana. I think it's good. It's a very powerful medicine that should not be abused recreationally. I think it's a good medicine for like, you know, people with epilepsy and possibly even, maybe even autism. I'm not quite sure. What's up, buddy? What's up, doggy? You want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hi to everybody on the stream or what? Yeah, pot does dull the spirit. Pulls you out of the presence of God for sure. If you do it too much. But everybody does it way too much. Like, it's a powerful medicine, and some people might actually need it for like epilepsy and stuff like that, but you only need like 1 or 2 hits, you know? Everybody like smokes like a fat joint or like a huge blunt of it, you know? Thoughts on Dolly Parton? I don't really know much Dolly Parton. I know she's a classic country singer though. I'm sure I'd probably like it. I mean, I know I've heard some of her stuff, and I know she's a good singer. Interesting. Nothing uses your brain more than playing music. And then if you do it in front of an audience, they go crazy. Your brain becomes one with them. That's interesting. Blunts are the worst. Dude, all I did was smoke blunts. The last 2 years, all I did was use a volcano vaporizer. But before that, for like years, all I did was smoke blunts, dude. The worst thing for you. Might be time for some high meat. Is it time for high meat? What, do you want some high meat? Look at this guy's reaction. You guys want some high meat? You want high meat? I should go get some high meat for these guys. Hang on. Alright, you guys are going to see the grand first tasting of a batch of high meat that I've been fermenting since May 6th. So that's 2 months and 6 days. I think this stuff is done. As you can see, it's looking like that kind of light brownish color, and it's getting that kind of slimy. I'm pretty sure that's ready. That's ready, man. And I took the suggestion of some people that gave me the suggestion of cutting it into chunks before I put it in here. And that works out really good. I don't have to cut it now. So I'm going to give this a shot. This is 100% grass-fed, antibiotic-free, hormone-free. 1 vaccine has been put into this. Wow. That's like juicy. That's delicious. This may be some of the best high meat I've ever made. This stuff is delicious, man. It's so like saucy. Wow. Those look like worms or something. It legit looks like tiny worms on here. Those are for sure like little worms. Weird. I've never seen that before. They're not alive, but they're like tiny microscopic little like, they look like they might be like maggots, but it's like larvae. You see it? See that right there? All those little dots? Those are microscopic, tiny little worms. That's interesting, man. Anyways, that ain't gonna stop me. Alright, I'm gonna give my dogs a little piece of this. Oh, this is liver. That's legit like delicious. I can't believe how good this is. This is rotten meat in a jar, and it's so good. It tastes like the sauce tastes like some kind of like fancy sauce you would get at a restaurant. Like a fancy cream sauce on like some beef and noodles or something. Legit, man. This was fresh liver, not frozen. Maybe that's why it tastes so good and it turned out so well. But it's so like saucy. I wish you could see in here, but it's like, it's just dripping. Dripping in sauce. See it? See that? It's just dripping in that stuff. Alright, I'm gonna hook my dogs up. You want a piece? There you go. There you go. That's good, isn't it? That's the best, isn't it? You want a piece, buddy? You want a piece? You bit the fork a little bit there, bud. You guys like that high meat or what? Dang, man. Every time I pull this stuff out and eat it, I'm just amazed at how good it is. I got 2 jars like this full. That's how much high meat I got. 2 big jars. I've been putting my work in, guys. I was thinking I could almost make a business out of this, like selling high meat jars in the Primal Food Club. Liver flukes? Really? Alright, one more piece for you, okay? One more piece. Alright, one more piece, buddy. Okay? Every last drop. Guys, I'm very impressed with this. This is my best high meat to date. I don't know what it is. I think it was partially because it was fresh, not frozen. That definitely intensified the flavor and made the sauce a little bit more, I don't know, just good, man. Liver flukes, I'm gonna look that up. Liver flukes in cattle. Yeah, it might be, dude. I need my microscope. I actually have a microscope. Should I get it out? Dude, I could legit. Damn, I don't know where it's at. So I could legit look that up on my microscope right now. I think it might be a liver fluke. That's a good call. I ain't scared of no fluke. Give me some flukes, man. That's probably the closest thing to it, for sure. It's interesting you knew that. How does it make you feel? High liver makes me feel alive. Yeah, high liver always gives me like just an energy. Like after this, probably pretty soon here actually, I'm gonna go walk my dogs, do like a big walk around the park. That's my favorite thing to do after eating dinner and eating high meat. I'm going for like a long walk. It's great. I did some push-ups in the sun today too, man. Felt good. Running is key though, guys. Like sprinting. I think sprinting is huge. Because this whole stream, like this whole beginning of the stream, I've been feeling like really alert and just, I feel like it detoxifies my brain, you know? It really like kind of lessens that brain fog and it just gives me like energy that I didn't have before, so running is huge. I was doing a lot of bike riding, but it's just not the same as running. Like, I almost get more of a workout from running or sprinting a half mile in bursts than I do biking for like 40 miles. The normies say they are bad for you, I bet. Why would you be scared of a tiny worm? It's the dumbest thing. Like, when you just look at it logically on its face, like a tiny little worm like that, why would you be scared of that? You think that's going to survive your stomach acid? Yeah, it could be Sciatia, for sure. Show that Aajonus meme. It's hilarious, isn't it? Aajonus. You guys want to see that Aajonus meme? It's hilarious. Nobody understands his soap analogy. That's so true. It's like Tide soap. Would you be... Is Tide soap contagious? No. Everybody's like, what? What are you talking about? I don't get it. Yo, it's detox, man. You wouldn't get it. It smells like high meat. Cheese trains. It's funny, dude. You look healthy, man. Either no fapper or Coomer. There you go. So funny, dude. Gave my buddy $20 to swallow a giant piece of high liver, and he did. Then said nothing happened, still trying to figure out why he ate before it and was sober. Possibly because he ate before it. But, who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, it doesn't exactly, like, get you super high. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta... If you're on, like, a normal diet and stuff like that, you might not notice it, you know? Because you're just so toxic. I get higher on fresh liver than high liver. I think high liver is overrated. Maybe. Yeah, I think fermented foods are slightly overrated, to be honest with you. I agree with you on that. Because I got 2 jars of this stuff in my cupboard, and it's like I don't crave it at all. I look at it every day, and I'm like, you know, whatever. I got rotten meat in my cupboard. Who cares? I got fresh meat in my fridge. You know what I mean? Fresh brains. I'll take that all day over rotten food. It's still interesting, though, I think, every once in a while to experiment with it and kind of inoculate your system with bacteria again. Couldn't hurt. It's more of a euphoric and super aware feeling. It is like a super awareness, for sure. I'm super aware, man. I'm aware of everything. You're eating maggots, Wes. It's not rice. It's like The Lost Boys, that movie. One of my favorite movies. You should make high balls. Maybe. I might do that. Maybe I'll throw a ball in a jar here. High liver gets me paralyzed high. Can't stop laughing. Locked to the seat. For sure can't drive while eating it. It makes me smile. Like... It's one of the few things in life that makes me like genuinely smile, almost like with joy. Just holding it in my hands. I haven't tried high eggs, huh? How long do the brains last? I've had them in there for about a week. They're still good. I would say they're probably good for up to a couple weeks. I've seen that most food is good for about a couple weeks. If you vacuum seal it, it's good for like a month at least in the fridge. Like, I've had some balls just sitting in a sack in my fridge, and they're still good. It's been in there for like 2 weeks. Good stuff, man. I started to yawn a little bit because I'm getting a little tired from that run I did. I sprinted like a half mile. Off and on in bursts. Lost Boys is the best, dude. Be one of us, Michael. Liver starts to ferment in the fridge after 2 days. Depends on how you package it, for sure. Went months without salt, went back to eating it, nothing's different. It depends on how much salt you're eating. If you overdo the salt, if you're eating like a lot of bacon like I was doing, it'll fucking burn you, dude. Like I ate like a pound of bacon one day that was salted, dude, no good. I woke up in the morning, like my throat was dry, I was like dehydrated. Thoughts on rabbit meats? It's gonna be too lean if you eat it all the time, but I've never had it. I'm sure it's probably good, especially wild rabbit. Yeah, I'll send you the book, dude. What's up, ye old medic? How's life been health-wise? It's been good, man. I think you're probably right about fasting all the time. I don't think that's a good idea. But I think every once in a while it can be very, very beneficial. And especially if you're like fat, and it's not because of toxicity and it's just from overeating. Fasting can be a very healthy way to just lose all of it. But yeah, I don't think someone like me that's in like just basically prime shape, it's a good idea to like fast all the time. I think it's just better to just exercise discipline and just not overeat. And I stopped weighing my food. I was like weighing my food every day, and I just stopped doing that. And now I just look at my food. I just kind of because now I know what it looks like. Like what I can just eyeball it and I can tell what's a half pound, what's a pound. So now I just eyeball it and I just do portions, you know? It's not all about weighing your food anymore and stuff. Raw pork is good, man. Raw pork fat, it's good stuff. Yeah, fasting is good to heal the gut. That's what I feel like I did, is I just healed the gut. If you've never done it for like 3 days, you just gotta try it so you know what I'm talking about. Like, it feels incredibly natural. Nice, you're gonna go camping and fishing? Awesome. Good time. I'll just eat a ridiculous amount of food. Yeah, so did I for a while. I kind of go in like spurts. I don't think you're supposed to do the same thing every day. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I'm the type of person that once I get in like a routine of doing something, I do it every single day. And that's kind of like my fault here, is that I'm getting into these food routines and I'm doing them every day, and I'm not paying attention to my hunger and just the way that I'm looking and stuff like that. So I need to start just kind of opening my mind up to sprinkling in some days where I just do like maybe dairy smoothies or whatever. I don't know. Maybe just eggs. I gotta think a little bit more abstractly about it and not so black and white. Because I was like just borderline being like autistic about it. I was like weighing my meat out in a bowl every single meal, exactly 12 ounces or exactly 16 ounces, and just I was doing that every day for like months and months and months, and just now I'm kind of just starting to loosen up a little bit, and I'm starting to eat more stuff like avocados and organs and like butter, and just not worrying so much about eating 12 to 16 ounces of muscle meat every meal. I never ate that much muscle meat before when I was on the standard diet, and I used to there was moments where I was in really good shape, and I never ate 2 pounds of meat a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a pound and a half of meat a day is fine. That's kind of what I used to eat every day on the standard diet. So like, even though our instincts were off when we ate standard American food, we still had intuitions and instincts that were sort of dialed in. You know what I mean? So you gotta like kind of look back at what you used to eat in the proportion wise, and kind of translate that over into the raw primal diet. Like, I used to eat like a 1/4 pound or a double 1/4 pounder hamburger for lunch, and then for dinner I would have like sometimes like the same thing. You know what I mean? So I would have like a pound of red meat a day, you know, and then for breakfast I would have some eggs and stuff like that. So like, that's kind of been my, I was always in proportion. Once I got into raw primal, I started eating everything out of proportion. I started eating like 2 to 3 pounds of red meat, and just, all this like 6 eggs a day, when I used to only eat like 2 or 4 eggs a day. So I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out what works best for me. But it seems like what works best for me at this point is like for dinner, let's say I'll have like 8 to 12, let's say 8 ounces of muscle meat, and then 8 ounces of organ, right? And then maybe some fat, maybe some tallow or something, and then some butter, and then maybe some brain, and then avocado, like, something like that. What's up, meat man? Did Aajonus really have that much sex? He claims he did. Yeah. I don't know what to make of all that. I'm not going to judge the guy, but I don't think it's really that healthy to devote your whole life to sex, dude. It's really about making babies, you know what I'm saying? Starting a family and stuff like that. It's unfortunate he didn't have like a big family, you know what I mean? And he was like raising kids on a farm and stuff. It's a bit unfortunate, but some people aren't meant to live that life, whatever. Chicken Jar says I was drinking too much milk. I cut the milk out. My gum inflammation went away, and now I'm fasting. Nice. Yeah, and then you may find that you want to go back to the milk after a while, Like, that's what I'm kind of feeling. Is that I'm feeling that I might want to go back to the milk here in a bit. Because the milk is really good this time of year, too. So. I don't think anyway whatsoever is 3 to 5 pounds of ribeye healthy. It doesn't seem healthy. How could you eat that much, dude? I don't understand it. I eat like a 22 ounce like cooked ribeye and I'm just like stuffed, dude. There's a reason no one else does that except the carnivores. I know, they're trying to be like badasses. Like, look at me, I'm eating all my steaks. I was like that before. I grew up. Do I use salt? No, I don't use added salt, Sometimes I'll eat like foods with a little bit of, like, sometimes I'll eat salted cheese if I have to eat salted cheese, but for the most part I don't mess with it. I feel better on tougher cuts of meat too, man. I like those tough cuts. Yes, like arm roast. I'm surprised Aajonus didn't have more kids. Probably some type of trauma. Oh, for sure. He was super traumatized. His family life was horrible, dude. He was like beaten, and then his mom was crazy, and you know his kid's mom was crazy, and then his kid was like allegedly like a crackhead, and just his whole family was messed up. So he didn't want nothing to do with it. I don't think he ever overcame that. That's why he was running around in Thailand and doing shit like that. But whatever, I can't judge him. I'm not any better of a person. Whatever. I shouldn't air out his dirty laundry on the internet, but it is what it is, man. You know, a lot of people idolize him and look at him as some sort of god or whatever, but he was a really troubled guy, but he had a lot of good stuff to say. Anyone see that dude talking about breathing on Toe Rogan podcast? Toe Rogan. Toe Rogan the midget? Did not see that. I wonder what happened after eating a Big Mac a year into this diet. Give it a shot, dude. Do it on Livestream. He said our jaws and arches are getting narrow because we aren't chewing as much. Huh. Could be. I disagree. It's due to poor nutrition, as Western Price points out. That makes the most sense. Yeah, chewing? Come on. Because you're not chewing as much. No. That may be a small factor, but it seems like degeneration is the biggest one. What are you chewing? That's the question, right? I chew gum. That's where I get my chewing in. If you're worried about chewing, just buy some gum. Buy some gum that's got like all natural stuff in it. Have I heard of the hyper arch mechanism, in short, primal walking? No, I haven't. I'll just talk about chewing weed. Yeah, he said that. I think that's for like Chicken Jar knows about this. It's about for detoxing cooked weed. So you're supposed to take in raw weed to detox cooked weed. Same concept as taking in raw vegetable juices to detox cooked vegetables out of your body. But yeah, he said that chewing raw wheat flour was the safest way to use cannabis, and you're supposed to eat it with a little raw cheese to absorb the toxins. What's a good tough cut of meat that's lean? Arm roast is a good one. It's interesting my stream hasn't been messing up in a while, especially this stuff, my comments. It used to like freeze up and I'd have to like redo it all the time. Now it's perfectly fine. It's weird. I wonder if I was getting grabbled. I found any other memes since that Jibber one. Yeah, check out Aajonus memes on Instagram. I'll link it. It's hilarious, dude. Oh shit. Whoa, those are funny, dude. There's two of them. Alright, we'll go to this one first. Oh, these are so funny, dude. I love this shit. I need some stuff to make me laugh. Whoa, I haven't haven't seen a bunch of these. Oh, he added a bunch of new ones. Hilarious. Oh, man. A couple of these are putting Ibrahim on blast, though. Who cares, dude? We gotta laugh. Alright, you guys ready? Dude, this is a hilarious channel, y'all. Alright, kids. Friday night me. Friday night on Jumer. Oh, these are hilarious, dude. The 20-year-old cooker. Oh, these are good, dude. This is my favorite one. I entrust everything to you, my son. Little eagle. Yeah, these are hilarious. I put this one on my channel today. Funny, dude. This is so funny. Do you think muscle meats have the same location healing as organs? Yes. Yes. I had a... Let's see. First off, certain animals store different nutrients in certain parts of the animal. So, like, that's why certain animals will only eat, like, the hindquarters of an animal, because a lot of the nutrients are stored in the hindquarters, where they use the muscles that they use more often, right? So, if you eat the muscles of the animal that are used the most often, you're going to get more nutrients off of it. And then, yeah, I think there might be some location healing going on there for sure, because if you're storing different nutrients in different parts of the muscle, whether it's the rear quarters or the front quarters, then if you eat those rear quarters, those nutrients are going to get assimilated probably to your rear quarters. I don't know. Could be. Why did they do Abraham like that? Because it's so funny. It's hilarious. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at yourself, man. We gotta laugh at ourselves. We look really weird to normal people. It's obvious. It's part of being awake, is realizing how retarded you look. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna end it off with that. We'll end it off with a laugh. I'm gonna go do some walking outside. I've been sitting down for too long. Aajonus said we should not sit down for more than 2 hours at a time, guys. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. I will be back this week. Y'all take it easy. Keep eating raw meat. God bless, and I will see you on the next stream later on.